Hello operators, it's me again. I got a little different video for you today. It's a guide on handguns, but it's going to be a little bit different than other guides. I'm not going to go in depth into the individual handguns in terms of the modability, the items that you want to put on them. I'm more going to cover the point of handguns, why you want to use handguns, why you should be packing handguns into every raid. We're going to keep it fairly simple. I'm going to match up the calibers to the handguns themselves, and then I'm going to be describing essentially how to use the handguns properly. Now, there's a couple things that we need to go over, so let's go ahead and get started. So of course, you've got all your different pistol calibers. You got your 9x18. This caliber, really, it's only useful early wipe. I wouldn't use it any other time. I'll explain why later. It's just not going to punch through armor. It's not going to do you a lot of good. 9x19, which is your 9mm. This is actually a fairly well-rounded average round. I would use this for most basic pistol runs if I were you. The Shrimp, on the other hand, has a very heavy round, very good for armor piercing. 5.7 falls under the same vein, you're going to see right here, but the 5.7 round is a little bit better. I think it travels a little farther too, it's a little more accurate. I just tend to like it more, but I have more experience on the Shrimp, so I prefer the Shrimp in most situations. The TT, it's useless. I really wouldn't use it. I'm going to describe that more later, but right now, don't use this gun. So this is a basic overview of the handgun calibers that we're dealing with. There's not a whole lot of them. You don't have to worry about the specific variants of the rounds. That's not really what we're discussing today. We're mostly discussing the general round and the general handgun. So I'm going to go ahead and take you through each of the handguns. I'm going to show you how they handle and give like a little bit of a live demonstration in firing range and kind of discuss a few things about them. So with the handguns, the first ones that you're going to see are the 9x18 caliber handguns. All of these are fairly similar. It's mostly up to personal preference. The two last ones that you'll see, and I'll point them out when they come up, they can do fully automatic, which is great, except you're never going to be using that unless they're point blank on you. The only one that you would, really, is the APB, I think is the one it's called. The one that's got the suppressor and the stock with it that you'll see. I'll show you when it comes up here. Really, it's the only one you're ever going to use full auto because of the way that it works. It kind of acts like a mini submachine gun. But really, the round that these handguns use, you're not going to be punching through armor. I would only use this early raid. There's really no point in using this. So right here, this handgun. I actually like this handgun. I don't like the rounds, obviously, but the handgun itself is fairly solid. This is the only one I would recommend using mid-game. Once you get to late game, I would recommend using some of the other handguns that we'll discuss later on. So that's all the 9x18. We're going to move on to the 9x19 or the 9mm. So right here, the first one you got is the Grotch. You know, fairly simple. It's the starter bare handgun. Doesn't have a lot of modification to it. Not a lot to talk about. P226 has a little more modification, but it's just the USEC starter handgun. I don't really like either of them now that there's more handguns available. So really, these are again just your starter handguns. You're gonna get better ones later on. This one, the M9. A lot of people like it. I'm not a huge fan of it. Don't really know what else to say about it. Not a lot of modability to it. This one, the Glock, is actually my favorite 9mm handgun. It's very moddable, has good recoil control, nice follow-up shots. The other one that you're going to see is the Glock 18C, which is just a variant of the Glock that allows you to go full auto. I don't like the full auto, so I don't tend to use this one. I don't consider it extremely useful, but to each his own. But you're going to see here, watch this. Oh my gosh. Basically hitting the ceiling. I'm not using that one. This one, the TT, is a little honorable mention. Used to be a good one. I don't like it anymore. I consider it useless. I would recommend staying away from it, but you might like it. Right here, the Shrimp is my favorite. I am going to talk about this a little bit more later, but I'm just describing this is what you're seeing right now. And then the next one is the 5.7, which is, in my opinion, the best handgun in the game right now. You should always pack a 5.7 if you can afford it. It's going to save your life. Alright, it was a little quick, I understand, I went over a lot of things, I was kind of rushing through it. Let's slow down, let me talk about the actual benefits of a handgun. So this is kind of a generic thing. Handguns tend to give you a lot more maneuverability and mobility when it comes to escape from Tarkov, and that makes them extremely useful in a CQB environment. Now, are they going to be useful when you're out in the open field? Probably not, unless they get really close and you're in thick vegetation. Where they're really going to be useful is CQB when you're inside corridors, need to clear out rooms, anything like that. I would recommend packing a handgun for anywhere that you're planning to go inside or near a building and you might need to clear out something. So let me show you how a handgun can be useful. I'm going to go into an offline raid. There's going to be a bunch of scavs. It's set to a little higher frequency of scavs than a normal raid, but they're basically the same as online. Only difference is that because I go in with only a handgun, there's no body armor yet, they're going to be marked and just aggressively pushing me for most of this until towards the end. So this gives a good demonstration of how a handgun can still be used to take out multiple targets in a tight space in a way that is advantageous to you and gives you the greatest chance of survival in a CQB environment. So here, we've got a pretty decent spawn. This is one that a lot of people like to rush. You can choose to hold corner like this. Handguns are good for this. You can hold it nice and tight, not really going to interfere with your barrel even if it's suppressed, like this one we've got right here. And we've got a flashlight, and I should explain something with the flashlight. You can use this on assault rifles as well, but flashlights are very useful for handguns. I hear one coming towards me. I think we're marked. Get ready. Yep. So we got messed up pretty hard there. But you can see how we were able to hold the angle fairly well, right? And cut this. Oh boy, as soon as I got patched up. So obviously I'm marked and cursed, right? But you can see how easily, with a handgun, you can kind of hold these angles. I'll pick up a shotgun just in case. I think I hear another one. Yep. Kind of flicked that one, but that's alright. Okay. So again, kind of hard to talk when I keep getting pushed. Scavs are so stupid, by the way. But essentially what we're doing is we're using a handgun to hold a tighter corner, which gives us a little bit greater drop on targets, which is great for us, really. The only downside to this right now is that we're marked and cursed on an offline raid. But this actually gives us a good way to show you the effectiveness of a handgun. So you see all these scavs that they know exactly where we are, they have weird aim. They're supposed to be able to one-shot us, right? Well, clearly, it's not working 100%. I wasn't wearing any armor to begin with, so I was lucky enough to survive. But now that we got handguns with main weapons, we should be able to breathe a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and pick up a couple extra things here. I'll take this rig, why not? Nope. We got more coming. They probably are attracted by the sounds. So we're going to take another angle. Kind of get offline a little bit. Okay. I might have to just explain more a little bit later. Beautiful. I forgot to check that magazine. I should have brought a lot more magazines for this. Anyway, as we are moving along, the handgun gives us a lot of maneuverability and the ability to aim down sights very quickly and get on target a lot faster. So the flashlight, it's not really useful against scavs. The flashlight is more against players. It's gonna blind players and make it a little harder for them to hit you, right? Let's see, is there another handgun that we can use? They all had, like, shotguns. Let me see if I got another handgun as a backup. Here, another one. Once again, holding tight corner. Kind of whiffed those shots a bit. But that's alright because scavs are bad. Yeah, I should have brought a lot more ammo for this. You can get the idea here, though. So let's say you were, like, spawn rushing, right? So right here. The flashlight would help you with the handgun because instead of coming in, doing like, oh, you know, where is he? You can come in. This is most likely where someone would be, so you just put a flashlight. You do it quickly enough. You don't even have to really do the lean. You can just walk in, do like a pre-fire there, or even just walk in. Depending on your level of skill, how quick you are with the twitch shots. I try not to do those as much. But a handgun is great because you can move along hallways like this. Your point fire is good because you're literally pointing at where you're aiming. I hear another one out there. So basically the handgun just gives you a lot of variety and options. You can adapt to most situations with the handgun. Nope. They know I'm here. So what we can do right here is we can actually use a shotgun on a tight corner like this. This thing's almost done. They might not know exactly where we are. I came into this offline raid a little unprepared, if you can't tell. I would chuck that. You know what? We'll keep doing it. We'll keep doing it. There's bound to be another scav that's got a handgun. Hear them? Okay, he doesn't see us. So instead of engaging, that was embarrassing. We got stuck a little bit there. There we go. See, we can kind of peek cracks like this too a lot easier with a handgun. Getting a little low. Have to be careful again. So what this is doing is we're just kind of horde moding it. And just practicing our CQB a bit. Scavs are really easy if you can hold tight corners with any gun, not just handguns. And see, the point fire is really easy to do. Again, you're literally just pointing it at what you want to hit and try to aim for the head. Try to do a lot of double taps too, that'll help. That's basically the end of the video. We've got no other real handgun action here. I think we really covered most everything that I wanted to kind of demonstrate with a handgun. The power of a handgun, especially the 5.7, using it well with the follow-up shots and the rapid-fire bursts. I really hope that this helps you guys out. I personally think that handguns are underrated in the game. I wouldn't be packing only handguns anymore with the new way that scavs mark targets and stuff, unless you got some body armor on. Then you should be alright if you really want to keep going with a handgun only run, but definitely be packing them as backups. That's my advice for you for this time. Again, very simple video. I just kind of wanted to go over this a bit in a more casual manner that's a little less analysis and professional, more about the opinion and kind of showing my thought process and how I use the weapons that I use. Let me know if you guys like this, if you want to see any more of these. Please feel free to subscribe, like the video, let me know what you liked and didn't like about the video. I'd be happy to change in the future, maybe even redo this video if you want to see something a little different. Other than that, I've got nothing else for you today, so thanks a lot guys, I'll see you in the next one. Remember, stay safe operators.